Eagles Entertainment.
Welcome, Eagles everywhere, to the Eagles Insider Podcast, presented by Lincoln Financial Group. I'm Eagles Insider Dave Spadaro. And yes, it is official. What you started hearing on Thursday is now officially official. The Eagles hiring Nick Sirianni, 39 years old. He is the new Eagles head coach. We will hear from him in the next few days here as things get all wrapped up and he arrives in Philadelphia. What we know about Sirianni is that he absolutely knocked the Eagles' socks off in the interview process. He interviewed only a few days before being hired. Toward the end of the interview process, the Eagles interviewing about a dozen candidates, and they are very pleased with Sirianni, who's worked in the NFL for more than a decade, a lifer in the game of football. We're going to hear from Frank Reich, the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts, the former Eagles offensive coordinator, in just a moment about Sirianni. I had a chance to speak with Reich on Friday morning, but some details on Sirianni. He's been in the NFL with the Kansas City Chiefs, with the Chargers when they were in San Diego. That's when he and Reich first met and have created a lifelong professional relationship that has landed Sirianni in Philadelphia. For the last 3 seasons, Sirianni, the offensive coordinator with the Colts, in 2 of those seasons, Indianapolis reaching the playoffs. We will meet Nick Sirianni in Philadelphia when he arrives next week. But for now, we'll hear from Reich, who gives a great perspective, having worked with Sirianni for 6 years. He knows him better than anybody in the NFL. And Frank says that this is a great fit. Sirianni in Philadelphia as the head coach. Thank you so much for your time. How's everything going in Indianapolis?
That's great. Yeah,
awesome.
It's great. Happy for you guys in Philly. And all I can tell you is he's going to knock your socks off.
So, Frank, let's go back to when you first met him and interviewed him and hired him for the job. What impressed you about him?
Well, Nick and I first worked together in San Diego. I was a quarterback coach and he was quality control, and we just had an instant connection. And it really just started about our belief in fundamentals and technique, and then it started kind of in our vision for how we saw the passing game. And it was very obvious that we had that connection early on.
So what responsibilities? I don't know how specific you'd like to get, but what kind of responsibilities did he have with you as the offensive coordinator?
He was a driving force in everything we did as the coordinator. He really led the effort with the offensive staff to collaborate on the game plan, and then he and I worked out the details. On game day, he's my right-hand man. He was my right-hand man as far as calling it. A lot of calling plays is, really in setting up the call sheet, how you want the call sheet to flow and how you're thinking about ideas. So some of that's done on game day, but a lot of that is done during the week. And in my experience, there's nobody better at that than Nick was. He was a huge help to me, a big part of the success that we had in San Diego offensively, and obviously here he was a huge part of the success we've had.
Frank, why do you think he's ready to be a head coach?
He's been preparing for this his whole life. He's a young guy in many respects, but I'm just telling you, this guy is brilliant, football smart. He's got football to his core. He's a football coach, comes from that family. He's a natural leader. He's got a lot of presence. The team he's a great coach on the field, holds guys accountable, strong leadership, good communicator, phenomenal teacher, all the qualities you need to be a head coach.
Frank, you made that move from coordinator to head coach. What was the biggest challenge for you? What will be the biggest challenge for Nick?
The biggest challenge is, you're not just the offensive coordinator. And, that's where you've lived your whole life, on one side of the ball. Well, now you're the head coach. And so you got to touch everybody on the team. And not just on the team, but at some level, the organization. So that's the biggest adjustment. But to a person like Nick, that's going to be an easy transition for a couple of reasons. Number one, he's naturally a very relational guy. It comes easy to him. He's got that kind of character where he cares about people. He's the guy who knows everybody's name in the building because he cares. And he's just great at connecting with people like that. And then secondly, obviously, for me, having been there in the organization, I just know the organizational support he'll get from the Eagles to make that transition, and that'll help as well.
How about the culture of Philadelphia? How will he enjoy the rabid fan base and the intensity from the media and the scrutiny from the fans?
Oh, it's going to be, well, that part of it's always tough, of course, when you don't win and it doesn't, if it doesn't happen overnight, he'll have to endure that, but he's ready for that. He's a pretty thick-skinned guy, and he's perfect for Philadelphia. I mean, he's very passionate, very, very passionate guy on and off the field. I think, Philadelphia fans will feel that and embrace his personality that way.
Frank, what's it like for you? You obviously want to see somebody succeed, but you also at the same time are losing somebody that meant a lot to you, the success that you have had in Indianapolis. What is this like to have the Frank Reich coaching tree lose a really key branch?
Oh, no, it's hard, Dave, because, when I got the job here, I told our GM, hey, the one guy we got to somehow figure how to get is Nick Sirianni. And whatever we got to do to get him in the building, because this guy is a great football coach, a great leader, and knows football. So, Nick and I have coached together for 6 years, and and so it's hard. And I don't want to lose him, but this is a tremendous, tremendous opportunity for him, and I'm happy. And then, Dave, it's also hard because obviously the closeness that I had and the respect that I have for Doug Peterson. So it's really strange in a lot of ways. But, it's part of this business, and, I'm happy that, I'm really happy for Nick and the opportunity he has. I also respect, the transition that's been made and the success that Doug had there, and wish him the best in his next phase. But I'm really excited for Nick, and I'm really excited for the Eagles. They're getting a great football coach and a great man.
Frank, last one. You guys did it together in Indianapolis, and you didn't have stability at quarterback. So how was Nick able to work through that and, adapt to the talent that you had, the players that you had in the quarterback position that changed every year?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the thing that Nick and I talk about more than anything. Every week, you're sitting down, and I just think Nick has a great understanding that this is a player's game and you have to adapt to your players. And, and as the offensive coordinator here, he was the one leading the charge, and, and how we did that and how we used the personnel that we had. Not only year to year, Dave, but as you know, week to week, as guys get hurt or as guys get COVID or, whatever the situation was, you got to be able to be quick on your feet, be able to adapt, not only week to week, but even in game. And like I would find during the course of a game, as a play caller, I knew I could talk to Nick about, what was happening series to series and the way he would see the game, and we could talk it through. That's a needed quality to having your head coach and play caller, and Nick certainly has that.
Frank, I thank you so much. I can't wait to meet him. This is a raving endorsement. I'm so excited to meet Nick and see what he can do with the Eagles.
Thanks, Dave. Wish you guys the best.
Take care, Frank. Thanks so much. There are a whole lot of details still to be worked out, of course. Who's the coaching staff surrounding Sirianni, his situation, his feelings on the quarterback position for the Eagles, and, of course, the working relationship within Philadelphia and the control that Sirianni will have, if he does, on the 53-man roster. All of those questions and many more will be answered in the days to come. Right now, what's important is that the Eagles have found their man. His name is Nick Sirianni, 39 years old, full of energy, and as you heard from Reich, somebody who is ready for this moment. That'll do it for this episode of the Eagles Insider Podcast presented by Lincoln Financial Group. Thanks to Peter Kelly, Trevor Hayes, and Ray Doyle for putting it all together. And thanks to all of you for joining each and every week. We'll continue to give you the very latest on the Eagles, and we expect some exclusive interviews in the coming days with the new head coach, with Eagles chairman and CEO Jeffrey Lurie. So stay with us as we continue to learn more about Nick Sirianni. I'm Eagles Insider Dave Spadaro. Thanks for joining, everyone. Have yourselves a great Eagles day. And as always, fly, Eagles, fly.
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Raise a glass to that comforting feeling of an Eagles touchdown with the all-new Broad & Pattison wine collection created in partnership with Wink, featuring a Cabernet, a Rosé, and a Chardonnay. Broad & Pattison wines are the perfect pairing for any occasion. Now you can bring the sweet taste of victory with you to a dinner with friends or to the tailgate with your game day crew. Purchase online today at philadelphiaeagles.com/wine to stock up and have Broad & Pattison delivered right to your door. A portion of proceeds from every bottle benefit Eagles Autism Foundation.